It's actually a few things that I like about LeBron podcasts. It's going to give some podcast problems. What him and JJ are deciding to do, I haven't seen anybody else doing. I'm Kevin Anytime, mindset specialist, director of Mindset Matters Institute. On this channel, we talk about all things that involve your mindset, because what your mind is set on will dictate your future. The basketball jargon is the first thing that I really like.
But if I say, hey, we run a thumb down angle on the left side because now the right hand guard coming right.
How LeBron gives us insight on terminology that nobody else really has given us.
Thumb down is simply a high screen and roll, a high pick and roll. Thumb down angle, which LeBron references, is just when that pick and roll is angled to a side of the floor.
Say, for instance, your corporate job, right? You know how you got those acronyms and, they be like, oh yeah, go do the BCS and, I'm about to do a CBO and blah, 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 right? That's technically what this is, because if y'all watch any of my other videos, especially the last one, you'll see where I'm talking about how the NBA is basically corporate. It's a corporate thing, okay? So this is a lot of the behind the scenes that we don't get, like when he mentioned the 2-for-1.
You know one thing that kills me, JJ, in our league? I'm gonna tell you what kills me.
Tell me what kills you.
The 2-for-1 shot.
Like, this is a lot of the in-depth basketball stuff that nobody else really talks about. And that's what I really appreciate about this podcast, because he's gonna point out things just like you can point out things about your job that don't make sense, but they don't want to change it. That's what I saw LeBron doing.
Are you going on an anti-crusade against the 2-for-1?
I understand why the 2-for-1 is important.
And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
In theory, it's a free shot.
In theory, it's a free shot. But what people sometimes don't account for, the 4 or 5 possessions before that.
And it's important that he does that so that there can be a light shined on what they're actually doing inside of the NBA. Not just how we get to look at it from the outside perspective and just think they hooping. It's way deeper than that. Everybody that's encompassed in that whole structure, they all work for a corporate organization, which is the NBA. And with that, there are certain things, certain structural things that they're gonna do that we're not gonna see and we're not gonna understand. And nobody really is gonna understand, even players trying to get to the league, until they actually get into the league. Then when they get into the league, that's when it really shows up. And I'm pretty sure that's what happens to a lot of players. They end up getting into the league and they like, hold on, this is not what I thought it was. And that's why you'll probably have those really prospect phenom players just completely drop off because of the corporation of it. It constricts the actual love for the game when somebody is trying to just play basketball. All of these different intricate details that the corporate structure adds into it can choke that love out of you. One thing I don't understand is Stephen A's reply.
On Monday, I told you about the launch of LeBron James and JJ Redick's new podcast called Mind the Game. And LeBron James is absolutely right, but here's why I would challenge LeBron James. One would be Michael Jordan.
This completely makes no sense at all, because LeBron specifically mentioned, hey, we know what Mike did for the game.
When it comes to influence, since I've been watching the game, the most influence on the game. And obviously we know what Mike did for the game.
And I'm thinking, like, did you not really listen to his podcast? Did you just only catch those clips? Or maybe one clip of the podcast? Because he literally specifically said, we already know what Mike did for the game, because that goes without saying.
And the other would be LeBron himself, because the day and age that we're living in right now, people are about being entrepreneurs. People are about having their own voice, taking command of their own careers or what have you.
It's like, no, LeBron knows. And that makes me respect him even more, right? It's cool. I get it. Cause even I feel like I would have been like, I'm the greatest of all time because of what I would have been doing. No matter what, somebody else did, blah, blah, blah. I feel like certain things that I would have did if I would have been LeBron, I would have said the exact same thing. So for him to not throw himself in that conversation and be like, oh yeah, no, I was one of the most influential, that makes me respect him a whole lot more. Like, he gained a whole bunch of respect out of me by doing that, because it is 1000% facts. It's 1000% facts. I don't know what Stephen A is talking about. I mean, obviously, yes, we know what Mike did for the game. Duh. But then for him to say, no, and, over Iverson and over, like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, LeBron is spot on. Steph Curry with the 3-point shooting, like he said shooting over the Empire State Building. I call this shooting from the ocean. Nobody's ever seen that before, especially game winners just at a whim.
Curry comes free, gets the ball, puts up a three-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry nails the three-pointer. They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Nobody's ever seen that before. So for LeBron to literally know and say that and admit to that and not let his ego go overboard with like, nah, well, I was, I changed the game a lot. Because he could have, but he was like, nah, AI, the arm sleeve, the cornrows, the crossovers, right? The little guy coming in on all the Giants, getting loose. That makes sense. And then Steph Curry, it's undeniable. It is undeniable that he changed the game completely. This man was shooting and turning around and it was going in. That much confidence, that much swag we have never seen since really AI and Mike. That's pretty much what it is. So Stephen A is drunk. This dude is smoking bacon, bro. Outside of that, people will get a deeper look into LeBron though. Okay. And this is where I know me and him connect, right? Because I already know some people see me as a jerk, but that's only because you have no idea how much work I do on myself and internally, mentally, physically. You have no idea how much work I've put in to understand certain things. So when I come across as I really know or I'm extremely confident in something, that's going to come off jerky. And that's kind of what LeBron is going to come off as, because when he mentions how when they talk about basketball IQ,
you're going to smirk about this. There's guys in the NBA, coach draw a play to one side of the floor, they can't switch it in their head.
See that, and I'm not saying he needs to change anything. I just know the perception of what people are gonna do. They're gonna be like, that dude is a jerk.
I've never understood that, and I don't know. I never understood that.
Like this dude, talking about his players, it's like, because I understand where LeBron's coming from. And he's coming from a perspective of you not diving this deep into the game to where you expanding your awareness of the game. Like, I'm sure in any basketball game, his offensive awareness, defensive awareness is over 99. Like, that's a guarantee. Why? Because he studies the game like he's supposed to. And really, anybody in the NBA should be, you would think that. So that's where I get LeBron's perspective, because it's like, wait, how do you not get it? And that's where he's coming from. And I can even see now hearing him talk and hearing, how much he knows and what he be doing, I can, not saying that it's okay, because he still got to take a leadership role, but I can understand where he just be giving up, man. He just be giving up, dude. Because I can see myself doing that. I can see myself being like, dog, they just, nah, there's no hope for these people. There's no hope for these dudes. Like, I'm out. I'm not finna do all this work. And that's not the approach he should be doing. That's not the approach he should be doing. But I understand it, though. I 1000% understand it, because you could be doing everything under the sun, but you don't know how to really lead. And that's something that I'm constantly studying, because leading is a completely different game. It's a completely different game. It's not really demonstrating all the time. And that's something that I think LeBron's starting to kind of learn a little bit. But all in all, I think it was a phenomenal podcast. JJ Redick is going to be an incredibly key component to this, because JJ has that coach mindset. He has that structural mindset. He has that organized mindset. Organizationally, structurally, that's where JJ come in. And that is a talent in itself. And a lot of people look over that. Mindset matters more than anything else. What your mind is set on will dictate your future. Focus on potential, man. Focus on potential, because that is what you are. That's what you are. Yeah, I thought it was really good. Until next time, y'all. Anytime,